Part D. Hello, my dear students. My name is Himal Handu, and today I'm back with you for Class 11 English Core from the NCERT textbook Snapshots. This is Part 3 of Chapter 3, Ranga's Marriage by Masti Venkatesh Iyengar. So, let's first of all recapitulate what we learned in our previous session. In our previous session, we discussed about Ranga's return to Hosahalli, his village. Then we went on to listen to the narrator's advice to Ranga. We also talked about match fixing with respect to Ranga. And we ended the last session with the scheming astrologer. In today's session, we'll talk about the manner in which Ranga and Ratna lived happily ever after. So, as I said, all's well that ends well. So the plan goes ahead without a hitch, and the next scene describes Ranga's visit to Shyama's house some years later. So he has a son now named Shyama. It's like Ranga and Ratna's way of showing gratitude and thanking Shyama's matchmaking ability. It was also an English way to show admiration to someone by naming a child after them. Nonetheless, it was only due to the narrator's insight and intellect that they got married. Adding to the glad tidings, the couple is also expecting another child. So the story basically ends with Shyama visiting their place for the young Shyama's third birthday. He plants a peck on the child's cheek and places a ring on his finger as a token of good fortune and security from evil. So students, let us now discuss about some major aspects of the story. We all know that it is about Ranga. We know that it is about a small little village in Mysore called Hosahalli. We know that during those days, child marriages took place. We also know that the elders took it upon themselves to get the children married or to get the youngsters married in those times. So there were different strategies that were adopted by Shyama to get Ranga married. Some of the themes I have already shared. Some more could be is the issue of marriage as an institution, the role of English as is shown through Ranga, and then we can also talk about gender stereotypes, how a person should behave, how they should be doing what they should be. Let us not forget what is expected of girls for a marriageable alliance. We also have in this story a small conflict between tradition and modernity. So traditional values of Hosahalli and then the modernity that comes from Bangalore via the main character, that is Ranga himself. So the key thoughts in the story would be something like the Ranga's marriage that we have studied just now is about a beautiful story of a very simple South Indian village. It embellishes the scene with the customs and the traditions of that place. So the story also, it highlights the constant struggle to preserve the culture of the place against the winds of change and forces like a foreign language which I mentioned, the language of English. There are some points that you must keep in mind while preparing for this lesson. There are instances wherein questions are usually asked on the character sketch of these two people in the story, Ranga and Shama. The other things that are of great importance would be to give a brief account of Ranga's education, his views on marriage, and finally, how he got married. This could appear in the form of long answer type questions. There is a very interesting question that usually comes up while we are doing this lesson. There are many humorous parts in this story. So, which part did you find the most amusing? Let's discuss this question a little. If you remember, Shama, the narrator of the story, is also the central character. His style of narration evokes a lot of humor in the story. He is an elderly gentleman and keeps referring to himself as a dark piece of oil cake. He is passionately in love with his village and the villagers and rambles incessantly while describing it. So he's all praise for his own village. He's a keen observer of his surroundings and uses a colorful style of narration. He feels it is disgraceful to use English words in the native tongue, that is Kannada. He is a good judge of people and regards Ranga as a generous and considerate fellow. So we also have Shama, the way he actually talks about Ranga or his village may be humorous to many people. He is conservative at heart and feels unhappy at Ranga's decision to remain single. Though he means well and his intentions are good, he plans to get Ranga married, calls Ranga when Ratna is singing, arranges a meeting with Shastri, whom he has already tutored. He decides that Ratna would be a suitable bride for Ranga. So if you see him, this is also a kind of character sketch of Shama. He is a shrewd schemer, contriver, and tells Ranga that Ratna was already married. You see, he knows how to measure the person up. So this he does in order to make sure Ranga actually loves Ratna. So the description of the village evokes a lot of humor in the story, and it's quite amusing for many. So, dear students, that's all we have for today. I hope you have enjoyed listening to the story and you have understood the story as well. Have a good day. Bye bye.